Welcome, everyone, to Mayhemtainment. This is episode 13, and I am joined by my senior Marvel Cinematic Universe correspondent, Robby H., and we are continuing our Post-Thanos series, and we are going to discuss Doctor Strange 2 and the Multiverse of Madness in this episode. We did talk about doing Thor, Love and Thunder, but we thought there was too much to talk about with the Doctor Strange movie that just one episode on this was where we needed it to be. Before we get into that, the music, of course, is provided by Marcus Frederiksen. Please go check him out, reverbnation.com/Marcus Frederiksen. Share out his music using the hashtag #NormalizeTheGood. And go check out the apparel line that his sister started in his honor, facebook.com/TheHumankind. And visit our storefront. We don't have apparel yet, but it'll be coming soon to the JDEDESIGNz storefront, bonfire.com/store/JDEDESIGNz. That's all in lowercase. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Just search Mayhem Media. And you can follow me on Twitter at MayhemPrez. That's with an S at the end of it. And now that we got all that done, Robby, welcome to Mayhemtainment. Welcome back to Mayhemtainment.
Thank you for having me.
We are using our new software still, the same software that we use to do live episodes. So we're going to keep the tickers and stuff will be coming up in this episode. Leave us a comment. We'll talk about it on a future episode. This one is not live, but we'll be doing more live episodes in the future. Look for them. Robby, Doctor Strange 2. I'm going to say the first hour of this movie, was at least a 6 on the weird shit-o-meter, okay?
It was.
And then by the end of the movie, it had to have been topping an 8 or an 8.5 on the weird shit-o-meter. It's not a bad weird shit-o-meter. It's just some stuff that there's some stuff in there we don't see in Marvel movies.
Right. Well, with Doctor Strange, you have to have the weirdness in there.
And Scarlet Witch.
The creatures that he goes against, like at the beginning of the movie, I'm trying to think what the creature's name is with the one eye.
Oh, you're right. I
had it written down, and I'm trying to find it right now.
Yeah, that was the one point I didn't put on my on my outline was what that creature's name was. Yeah, he's dreaming of an alternate version of himself. We figure out. And we get the new character as well. We learn it right in the first scene, a brand new Marvel character. She is not from the comic book. She is not anywhere. She is a brand new character, America Chavez. What are your thoughts, first of all, on a brand new Marvel character that has no history of the comics?
I like it. I like anytime they create a new character and it's done well. I ain't got nothing bad to say about it. I honestly like it.
We're jumping a little ahead on my outline here, but that's all right. I think it was also very good. I've been saying you can't rewrite a character's backstory to fit a narrative that you want, such as, and I'm sorry, and you can leave me a comment if you don't agree with this, but being white, black, or brown can change the origins of a character. It can change the origins of a character. And I don't like any changes to the origins of most of the established Marvel characters, So I have always been saying, listen, you want to bring in new kind of stuff, fine. Make some new characters, give us a new story, right? So I think introducing a new character was a great move for Marvel. I think that they executed it pretty okay.
But she's not that new of a character though. She's been out since 2011.
Oh, who is it? Am I missing something?
No, it's just a character they made out in 2011. Her first appearance was in Vengeance #1 in September 2011.
Oh, in the comics.
Right.
Oh, well, then you have better notes than I do. What I looked up is that she was a brand new character created for this movie. So I stand corrected on that.
And I mean, I believe her powers do change a little bit. I'm not too familiarized with her.
Yeah. Me neither.
Because the first time I saw her with the blue star on her chest and stuff, I thought she was going to have something to do with Captain America more than she did, like, say, in the movie or whatever.
Yeah, or the Miss Marvel TV series on Disney. I thought that was the association for the first few minutes. I had to go look that. I'm like, is this the same person? I don't think this is the same girl from the Miss Marvel series, but I needed to go look it up to make sure. Because I haven't seen the Miss Marvel series other than advertisements and stuff. But so it's not a new character, so I'm wrong about that. So she does have some connection to the comic books, and that's fine with me.
She does. It's like she's bulletproof. She's flame retardant. She makes the portals like in the shape of a star.
So the multiverse thing is what kind of changed. They got rid of a little bit of her other stuff, maybe, or maybe she just
maybe. But see, the even in the comic books, the star teleporting that's. It takes her through the multiverse. I mean, that's in the comic books.
Oh, it still does take her through the multiverse in the comics.
Right, and she can also travel through time.
Oh, okay. And she can travel through time. Okay. Well, this is clearly a character that they put in here so that they could do some stuff.
Right.
Even in the MCU, they're obviously did that to add more to the multiverse.
Right. And I mean, I believe that, and I believe I said it in another show, I believe that they did Deadpool 2 with Cable going through time and going through different periods and stuff. I thought that's how they were going to try to correct the seemingly offishness, that's not a real word, between where Fox was and where Marvel or Disney is with what we have now. But they could do that with American Chavez, and I mean, they're already introducing the multiverse through that and through what was it, Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. We talked about the Spider-Man series. I shared that earlier on our social media, the episode to that, because that's what opened the door. Overall, I thought the movie was really great. Well, let's talk about a couple of key points in the movie. All right, not great. All right, it was a good movie. It was a really good Marvel movie that added some new elements that I think made it even better. Let's talk about some of those things. Obviously, we've been talking about the multiverse. We knew that was coming. We get a little bit more explanation now about it, and about what's happening. And they also kind of give us a little contingency plan. If there's too much multiverse crossover, then it creates an incursion and then worlds can be destroyed.
Right.
So at least we know that they have some kind of contingency plan in here in case. They're not going to like overdo it is what I'm trying to say. They're not going to it's not going to be constantly, I think, people flopping in and out of universes. They created incursions now. So they gave us an out to prevent it from happening all the time, in my opinion. Is that how you saw it?
Kind of. I think the whole multiverse, once again, I think the whole multiverse in the comics and in the movies and stuff is just a way to correct different styles of comics, different story arcs in comics, to be able to keep what they like and throw away what they don't.
Okay.
So it's even if you go to DC, you have the new 52s, then you have the classics, then you have Marvel you have the Ultimate Marvel, which I see this current timeline being more like the Ultimate Marvel universe, because Nick Fury alone makes that seem like it to me. Because the Ultimate Universe has the African American Nick Fury.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. This is obviously the main universe that we're following. I think they need to be careful though with bringing it like what you said, where they can kind of bring in people who they want, take out people, what they don't. I think they got to be careful with that though.
Right.
I think they do too much of that, and then you end up, where you're having to reboot stuff. You start doing things.
Well, I kind of like it to the point where you're going to see characters that won't get their own movies or won't be in a whole movie. People that you might have get that nostalgia feeling just seeing.
Yeah. I don't have a problem like with how they did it in Doctor Strange with they went into another multiverse. They're there for less than half the movie, but a good portion of the movie. There's a good section of the movie there that they're in the multiverse, and we get to see some alternate versions of some characters.
Right.
And I do agree with you. That was cool. That's cool. I don't have a problem with any of that. I think the problem lies in when you do something cool like that. Then now, if you try and make a movie with those characters, I think that would be a problem.
Right. And I'm hoping they don't do it. Because like if you watch some of the programs that they have on Disney Plus right now, they have the Marvel What Ifs. So they have the whole zombie universe going on one of the episodes. So you get to see the zombie Doctor Strange and other heroes. And it was cool to see that in the movie. You have the when Agent Carter becomes Captain America. Holy crap. You get to see that in the movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is pretty cool. But like you said, if they overdo it to the point where the fandom goes more for Agent Carter being Captain America than Steve Rogers, it's going to be a problem because you're either going to have too much of this and not enough of this, or vice versa.
Yeah, I think they got to stick with the main universe and then just keep doing these little things for the other ones. I think I agree with you there. Let's not go into another universe and dive into it. Let's stick in this universe and just get those little pieces.
Right. And see, that's becoming I'm afraid it's going to become a problem with Marvel, because even though it's got a lot of bad backlash, and I know you haven't seen it yet, She-Hulk, I enjoyed it. But it seems like that's going to be a thrown away character because they're not coming out with the season 2.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it yet. And once I do, we'll definitely discuss that we'll include that in one of the episodes.
Right. But I'm hoping that they don't use this multiverse just to throw away characters when it doesn't work the way they want it.
Yeah. I see what you're saying too. Yeah, I see what you're saying too. Let's talk about the multiverse for a minute. The one universe that Doctor Strange spends a good amount of time in. There's an alternate version of what would be the Avengers. They're not called the Avengers. They're called the Illuminati. And there's 5 of them. It's the first Avenger, Captain Peggy Carter, who is still, and this is what's great about Marvel too, the continuity between the characters. Okay, to still have Haley Atwell playing Dr. Carter that's awesome. I think if you can't have her, then you shouldn't even have her in there. I think the fact that they're keeping the continuity of who they have playing what character, and that is, I think, key to Marvel's success. An alternate Captain America, or not Captain America, I'm sorry, alternate Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers' friend from the movie, who I can't remember her character name or the person who, I didn't write that down. I don't know why I didn't write that down, but I didn't. But it's a different Captain Marvel. But it's different, but it's still like it's cool, like you were saying, because it's her friend from the movie.
Right.
Just like Peggy Carter being Captain America is cool. We know that she has an association with Captain America, and she was there. It's not that much to have a version of her. That's pretty cool. Baron Mordo is back. I'm sorry, he's played. I'm gonna butcher his name.
Yeah, I saw that. I wasn't even gonna try it.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. I'm sorry, Baron Mordo. He's part of this Illuminati. Black Bolt, which was awesome to see a character as obscure as Black Bolt in the movie.
Well, they have their own show, right?
Who?
Black Bolt.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but he's not wearing the suit though. It's more it's the Inhumans.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get to watch it myself, but I mean, I know they used the same guy that plays Black Bolt. I just like the fact that Black Bolt was in his costume, because that's the one thing about the earlier Marvel movies or Fox movies, whatever you want to call them, they didn't do the suits right. So I like the fact that they're starting to show the suits, they're starting to show the spandex and all that stuff. So
Yeah, Marvel's definitely, and I think it's great. Who'd have thought that these movies that Fox getting the X-Men, the mutant side of Marvel was probably, at least at the time, the best thing to ever happen to Marvel, because and the Spider-Mans and the Hulks, because now all of a sudden you don't have to create the multiverse. Now that they own all the rights to all these movies, they don't have to create the multiverse. It's already been created. All they have to do is acknowledge. All they have to do is acknowledge these other movies that have been made and say, "Oh yeah, it's real. It's just in a different version. It's in a different."
And I believe that's one of the reasons they're doing the multiverse right now, because I believe in film, it's harder to describe the multiverse even verbally, and then to put it in picture, it's even more difficult if you're not a comic book fan. I like how they brought the Illuminati in. I like how the Illuminati is still kind of what's the word, mysterious.
Yeah,
because like in the comic books, they it was like the Age of Ultron went bad. Like it didn't go. It's like the alternate outcome of the Age of Ultron.
yeah,
Captain America dies. They actually use Frank Castle, the Punisher, as a symbol of the new Captain America successor. Basically, Frank Castle's Captain America, and they're just trying to give the symbol of hope and all that stuff. So,
yeah, they're doing a great job at including a bunch of stuff with this multiverse. They're being careful with it, which is what I continue to stress to them: being careful, because you can overdo it if you do it the wrong way. They're keeping it sparingly, keeping it little pieces here and there, I think is the way to continue to go. Obviously, it's probably leading up to a big movie, some kind of big movie.
it will.
Let's talk about that in just a second. I also want to mention Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier was in Doctor Strange, which is phenomenal. It's the first real acknowledgement that we've gotten. Well, no, I guess it's the second. In WandaVision, they acknowledged Fox's Quicksilver as at least a version of Quicksilver.
Right.
So, but
I was wondering how they were going to do Quicksilver, where they have two different versions.
Yeah. And I think this with Patrick Stewart, it's great to see him back as Charles Xavier. I mean, at this point, he is Charles Xavier. I want to talk about for a moment, though, how he was different. Everybody knows Patrick Stewart, the right hand up to the temple, to the forehead. That's the way Charles Xavier is. It's the way it is in every incarnation of Charles Xavier. The way where he puts his hand or his fingers on the right side of his forehead or around his temple may change. The position of his hand may change, but it's always the right hand. It's always up to the side of his head somewhere. In this, we saw Charles Xavier use both hands on both sides of his head. That's something I've never seen before. So either Patrick Stewart is going senile and the director of the movie went for a coffee. This was done intentionally and I think it was done intentionally because this is really the first time. The Quicksilver thing, yeah, but that was an acknowledgement, but it wasn't really much of anything. I think they did it differently to show that this is not Fox's universe.
Possibly.
That's why I think it was different. That's why I think he did the motions, and he was off. He was off. He was Patrick Stewart, but he wasn't.
Well, I think also it could have to do with his age.
What?
It could have a lot to do with his age.
You think, though? I mean, you don't think the director saw that and was like, no, Patrick, that's not right. I mean,
no, but what I'm trying to say is not just Patrick's age, but Professor X's age.
Yeah, but yeah.
I mean, his power. I mean, he's one of the most powerful mutants there is. Yeah. But with age, and like you said, he could be going senile. He could be weakening. It might take more to get to where he needs to be. It might have been harder to do what he was doing.
Spoiler alert, turn this episode off if you haven't seen this movie yet. You should have turned it off long before this episode, but definitely now. We see Scarlet Witch actually kill this version of Charles Xavier. And Scarlet Witch is powerful. She is powerful, but I don't think she's Charles Xavier powerful. So maybe you're right. Maybe this was a diminishing Charles Xavier.
I disagree on that 100%.
Really?
In the comic books, she goes mad. I mean worse than what you're seeing in this movie.
Yeah, she's a level 4. Like she's up there. She's one of the she is one of the most powerful.
She has the power. She has the power to take all the mutants' powers away, which she did.
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. I completely forgot about that run. Yeah, what was that called? I can't remember the name of it. Do you remember the name of what that
was? It House of M?
House of M. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot about that. I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean, I don't know.
The sister that's just as powerful as she is, Polaris.
It seemed to happen fast to me. I mean, it's like I said. I think it had something to do with maybe it's a different version. It's not Fox's version. It's not the Charles Xavier that we know from the Fox movies. It's a different version of Charles Xavier, other than the Fox movies. I think is.
But I do like how they did use Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah.
It's just like with Robert Downey Jr. and Ryan Reynolds and certain other characters. They embody that character. That when you think of that character, even in comic book form, you're like, holy shit, that is Professor X. That is Deadpool. That is Iron Man.
And Patrick Stewart is one of those people. And I think James McAvoy did a good job as young Charles Xavier. He did a good job.
No, I really enjoyed all of the newer X-Men. A lot of people say they didn't. And
I did too, except for Dark Phoenix. I thought Dark Phoenix was garbage. I thought Dark Phoenix
I didn't think it was too bad. I think they kind of effed up on one of my favorite characters, which is Nightcrawler. But
dude, they messed up so much stuff, dude. They messed up so much stuff, man. I'm sorry. They messed up so much stuff.
I didn't think it was too bad. The only thing I really didn't care for as much.
Well, Apocalypse was actually
Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. They messed up a lot of stuff. Dark Phoenix was like a regurgitation of X-Men 3. It was like, hey, we made this really crappy movie. Let's remake it again.
Right, but I didn't think it was as bad as X-Men 3. Like, I mean, when it comes to superhero movies, X-Men 3 is like that, and Howard the Duck is like side by side.
It's terrible.
Like,
but it's true.
That terrible ass Juggernaut they had on there.
The only good thing we got out of X-Men 3 was Kelsey Grammer as Beast, in my opinion.
I agree, and that's another one. Lord, I wish we could have got Kelsey Grammer as Beast more, because he was phenomenal. The Beast that I knew from the cartoon and comics.
Oh, absolutely.
And I mean, it was down to a T.
Yeah, phenomenal. He was amazing. He did such a great job as Beast. Yeah, he did such.
I'm not gonna lie. It actually got me to go back and watch Frasier, because I hated Frasier growing up, and I ended up loving Frasier just because of Beast.
Yeah, he did such a good job as Beast. And the younger Beast, he did fine, but he was, I don't know, the young Beast, I was never a fan.
That was more of the ultimate type deal Beast, where he's more with the snout and stuff, which still I think is cool. And I know we were sidetracked with this new X-Men, or I still say X-Men. It's been out for a while. But the first class X-Men is what I'll call them. The only thing I don't like is Mystique. I like her as Mystique, but I don't like how she's a good guy.
Well, they completely messed her up. Yeah, that's not her origin story, not even in a little bit. Not a little bit.
So I mean, I respect that they're trying something different, and I mean, Jennifer Lawrence did a wonderful job, I think. But
she was fine in First Class. She was fine in First Class, even though they completely messed up her entire origin story. I think she did a good job in First Class. I think the rest of it was not as good. I don't think she did as good a job as she did in the first one.
Well, I think she did awesome. I think it was on the second one, and I forgot the name of the second. Was that Days of Future Past?
Yeah.
All right. When she's infiltrating the army and stuff, I mean, that was Mystique. I don't care when anybody says
All right,
that.
true. You're right.
That's
Yeah, you're right. True. That was she. Yeah, you're right. Days of Future Past. They did a good job with Mystique. Yes, you're right. She did. Yes, yes, she was.
All right, back to our subject.
Yeah, let's go back. Yeah, let's go back to Doctor Strange though, because we're going to be talking about the other X-Men at some point in time. So this movie was likely Wanda Maximoff, Scarlet Witch's final appearance in the MCU. Would you agree with that, or do you think there's still a chance? I mean, of course they can bring her back. They have the multiverse now, so
Well, that's what I was thinking in my head when you said that. I was like, well, if she continues to be popular, that's the only thing. If she continues to be popular, they're going to bring her back. They're going to say that was Wanda from another universe. They're going to say something within that means.
That's the stuff they need to be careful with. You can't just start killing off people and then bringing them back from another universe.
I agree, but
you also can't kill off people and bring in a new person and bring them from another universe and use that as an explanation. Like recast somebody. I don't think you can do that either.
Well, they can, because they're going to do it with Quicksilver.
Again, are they casting a different Quicksilver?
No, I think they have two different Quicksilvers. One of them's dead, one of them's alive. The one from First Class, I believe, is going to be the continuing Quicksilver.
I hope so. He's a better Quicksilver. And I don't have a problem. Listen, I don't have a problem. What I have a problem, well, yeah, this is what I'm saying. Okay. They bring in this Quicksilver. Okay, the Quicksilver from Fox, they bring him in. Let's say he's not as popular. So they kill him off, and then they bring in another Quicksilver from another universe.
Well, see, I believe they're going to end up doing that in a way. I honestly do. Because I don't think Iron Man's going to stay dead. I don't think Captain America's going to stay dead.
Yes,
unless that Ironheart, the female Iron Man from Black Panther or whatever, if she becomes the new Iron Man, they're going to have another Iron Man, and they're going to have to find a way to bring Iron Man back.
No, I can't. See, I don't want that. I don't want that to start happening. I understand they do it in the comics. It's a cheap thing that they do. You can always bring somebody back. No, not in the MCU.
I agree 100%, but I believe that's what they're going to do because that's where the money is.
But let's just say, for the sake of argument, let's just say that they have done it. Let's just say that they are doing it, that they're going to bring someone like Iron Man back or Cap. If they don't have the same person to play him, I'm not buying it. You're not doing this where, Iron Man from another universe who's played by a completely different guy who's a completely different Iron Man. No, we're not doing that. I'm not buying it.
That's where I draw the line. All right, going back to the Spider-Man movies. All right. The third Spider-Man movies, you had 3 different Spider-Men.
But they were all made already. See, yeah, that's fine.
I understand that. But what I'm trying to tell you is Robert Downey Jr. is old as fuck. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do it anymore. He
can't do it no more.
Yeah, he can't do the physical stuff. Yeah, he doesn't want to.
So it's either they're gonna revamp or have a new character. And I believe that they're gonna go with a much younger version of some of these characters that's been out.
Listen, I do agree with you. I completely agree with you. I think that they're absolutely going to do that. What I'm saying is, though, they got to wait some time. They can't just do it like he just left. It's only been a little while. You got to wait. You can't just, new character. You know what I mean?
But that's easily done to wait, because you look how far we came from Avengers, or even Captain America, the first Avenger, to what we have now. So they can do that very easily. And all of a sudden, you're going to see that bright and shiny shield and our new Captain America's face.
See, listen, they have to be careful with that. People are not going to just buy it. I don't think you can just start replacing characters. I know that it's going to happen. Of course, it's going to happen. And as long as they don't reboot things, that's the other concern I have. No rebooting.
Right. You see, the multiverse is
into a universe now that you need to continue.
The multiverse is their cop out, though. That's what it is. That's the only reason they're doing it. That's the only reason the multiverse was even created, was as a cop out.
Yeah, but if they still have continuity, though, that's what I'm saying. There's still some continuity.
There's continuity because they can pull from each universe.
Yeah, but even in the scene where we see,
because if they didn't have the multiverse, the timeline would be like Legend of Zelda or Halloween or something like that, where you got such a screwed up timeline that you can't even follow it. So what they're doing is using the multiverse as an excuse. So, okay, Age of Ultron, I didn't think it was a good movie. Some people liked it. I thought it was shit. But now they could be like, hey, we can do Ultron better, so let's bring that fucker back. So that's what they're going to do.
See, but no, you can't just do that. That's what I'm saying. You can do that, but I don't think they should. I think that's going to.
And I believe as technology gets better and better, they're gonna do a lot of stuff like that. I believe they're gonna bring in Robert Downey Jr. again as a computer generated fucker. To talk to the new Iron Man.
I don't have a problem with doing this, with having, it's a younger Iron Man who's from a different universe. I don't have a problem with doing that sometimes, like occasionally. But what I'm saying is we can't just start replacing
everybody. I understand what you mean.
Yeah.
But they're going to do it with the popular characters. Chris Hemsworth, he's not going to be Thor very much longer.
But it's different. No. But what I'm saying is it's different all right. I get when an actor gets too old and is done. And it's like, okay, I've made my money. I've done these movies. I don't want to do Marvel anymore. Thank you very much. I'm done. Fine. I get that because that's going to happen. Actors are not going to want to play Marvel characters for their entire life for 60 years. I get it.
So they're either going to replace them as.
Well, you can't. No. That's what I'm saying. You have to let them. Like Captain America and Iron Man died. You have to go a while. A while.
I agree. And I don't think they're going to kill off everybody when they leave. I think sometimes it's just going to be like a soap opera. He's just going to have a new face, and you're just going to have to accept it.
No, I don't think that's appropriate either.
I don't either, but that's what's going to happen.
No. Please don't. Marvel, if you're listening to this, please don't do it. Don't do that.
Well, I mean, they're not going to stop with Thor movies just because he doesn't want to be Thor anymore. Look at Batman. We got Michael Keaton coming back.
You just brought up the perfect point. No, that's what I'm saying. Marvel can't go DC. What they have going for them is the continuity between their films and what they're doing. You can't do that with it turns into DC. I'm sorry. DC grosses some great movies. They get some great grosses. They're high up there on the list, some of their movies. But if they didn't replace a Batman every 10 years, maybe we would have a better story.
Well, I mean, it just depends on how they do it because honestly, Michael Keaton was our Batman.
Michael Keaton back as Batman. Now we're getting way off topic.
Michael Keaton was our Batman. I about cried when I saw him. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I've been the biggest fan of Batman my whole life.
I don't have a problem with Michael Keaton bringing back
Batman. And I know you don't like Ben Affleck as Batman. I do. I think he was the embodiment of what Batman is in the comic books.
Oh, my goodness.
But they chose to do his Batman once he was already older than he needed to be Batman. So guess what? They got Robert Pattinson as Batman. We got 3 different Batmans going on right now.
I know. That's ridiculous. That's what I'm saying, man. It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
But it's in different. It's not supposed to be the same Batmans, different times or different.
You got to be shitting me. I mean,
that's what it is. I mean, it's just like Joaquin Phoenix being Joker. I mean, they're coming out with the new Joker movie, and fucking Lady Gaga is Harley Quinn. And we've got the perfect Harley Quinn right now.
Yeah, we do. And that's what I'm saying. And if Marvel starts doing that, their product is going to deteriorate. They're going to start making floppers because DC.
Well, I believe deep down that their product is already starting to deteriorate.
Don't say that. I'm keeping up hope. Be the
well, I already do. I mean, just with them trying to tie in the shows to do between the movies and stuff. I believe that's what I think they're dying. I mean, I think this cinematic universe is dying.
No,
and they're doing everything they can to keep it up.
Yeah, I think that it would be terrible if they did a reboot. If Marvel does a hard reboot, I can't guarantee that we'll ever do another Marvel episode ever again on this podcast. I just want to be clear. Well, I'm not accepting a reboot. I'm not accepting it. I'm
equally a fan of Marvel and DC. Okay. I don't believe that either or shit, but
DC's not shit. It's just they make some shit movies, and it's because they keep.
I mean, I think a lot of their movies are good one-time watches. Like I like Suicide Squad. I like both of them, but I don't want to watch them again.
Yeah.
The new Batman movie with Robert Pattinson. I enjoyed that 100 times more than I thought I would, but I don't want to sit down for 3 hours and watch that son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Um,
Although I would watch Christopher Nolan's Batmans again. I love the Dark Knight
and
series.
see, I hate the Nolan universe.
Oh, I don't think the universe itself is very good, but I mean, how do you beat Heath Ledger as Joker?
Easily, Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, yeah, okay, but he can't. Again, he can't anymore. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And
No,
we're
but
getting
I
way
mean,
off.
to be honest, I didn't like his Joker either. You
You're
you
crazy.
know that anyway.
Yeah, you're
But,
crazy. We disagree on some of that. We disagree on some of that. That's for sure. But I do agree with you on the universe. Like the Nolan universe was completely effed. It's completely effed. They just got some great actors to play some of the roles, in my opinion. I mean, the guy.
well, you're allowed to have a wrong opinion. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah. Well, so are you. You've had plenty on this show. No, let's go back to Doctor Strange though, because we're talking about DC, and that was not on the agenda.
It was not.
But that's all right. That's the way we usually go. That's what make our episodes interesting. Unless you want to go somewhere else, I think we should talk about the ending and some of the post-credit scenes and where we might be going from here.
All right.
So at the ending, the post-credit scenes, we'd see Doctor Strange gets that third eye as a result of studying the dark hold and his self-projection into his dead body, his necromancy. So he gets the third eye, and then the next post-credit scene, we see a character named Clea, who is being played by Charlize Theron. Who that's freaking awesome. I just want to say that. The character Clea is the daughter of Dormammu, and coincidentally, Clea is also a love interest of Doctor Strange. And being that we just kind of saw him say goodbye to his doctor lady friend in that movie, I believe that's also what this movie was. I believe we won't see her much anymore, and he'll get a new love interest. And that I believe that's going to be Clea. And she invites him, because he caused an incursion, and they jump into the Dark Dimension. And Dark Dimension is where Dormammu is from. So Doctor Strange 4 is likely going to be with Clea and Doctor Strange, and it'll have something to do with the Dark Dimension.
Well, yeah, because it's Clea Strange. She's gonna be the significant other of Stephen Strange.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that they were married. I just knew my research said that they were love interests. I didn't realize that they actually got married, but that would make sense. And I mean, Charlize Theron, I'm a fan. Are you a fan of Charlize Theron?
Yeah, in my Mighty Joe Young, that was about it.
I am a fan of Charlize Theron. Really, you didn't like her in Prometheus, or did you?
I didn't like Prometheus that much.
Oh my goodness, no. All right, no. We're not going down that road. We're not going down that road in this episode. But we do have one.
You are talking about Prometheus with the alien and all that shit.
We are. No. That's what I was just about to say.
I'm not an alien fan. I can't get into them.
Oh my goodness. Well, Robby and I maybe will discuss the alien movies another time because I'm a huge fan, though not necessarily of all the Prometheans. But let's not go down that road, please. That'll be another 45 minutes. We could get lost in there, I'm sure. Now, the story, the way that they jumped in the end credit scene, does not clearly set up a comic story for Doctor Strange 3. Like, this doesn't happen. Clea doesn't just appear and say, hey, you caused an incursion, and they go to the Dark Dimension. It's not out of the comics. So whether or not it's going to lead to a comic book story, we'll see. We'll have to wait for Doctor Strange 3. What are your thoughts on that? Do you have any thoughts on the post-credit scenes?
I'm kind of where you are on it. I don't know where it's going to lead to. I really don't know much about Clea, to tell you the truth. I just knew that through just knowing that Clea's name was Clea Strange. That's basically all I know.
Yeah,
because I didn't know her Dormammu was one of her parents. So
yeah, or at least according to the comics, yeah, she's Dormammu's daughter. At least that's what my research said. If I'm wrong about any particulars I've said here, please leave me a comment. I'll be happily correct it. And please leave me and Robby a comment if you want to discuss anything we've discussed on this episode. We'll talk about it in another episode. We're going about 40 minutes or so here, and I just now realized that I still have the Mayhemtainment live bug up in the corner and not just Mayhemtainment. This is not a live episode. Please don't think that we're going to discuss your comments as you're leaving them. We'll discuss them in another episode. If you leave us comments, please do. I think that's about it for Doctor Strange. The multiverse.
The only other thing I want to say, and I said it in the other one, dude playing for Mr. Fantastic. I cannot say his whole name.
John Krasinski. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I completely
that one.
I didn't have him marked down. Yeah, John Krasinski playing Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards.
I love the idea of him being
oh my goodness,
Reed Richards.
He's going to be amazing.
But I was told they're not going to use him.
Really?
Right. That was just like a one-time shot. And if that's true, and I mean, I could be wrong, that's going to be a waste because he's such a good actor.
Oh, man, dude, yeah, he's good. And, man, he was so good even in that short time, he was so good as Reed Richards. I would completely buy him as Reed Richards. Absolutely.
Yep, definitely.
I think that'd be it was a great casting choice. And I think, aren't they making a new Fantastic Four?
I've heard they are, but I haven't gotten any details on it yet.
We'll look that up for our next episode when we
do. Lord, hope that it's better than the rest of them because Fantastic Four is not doing well.
No, they've all been crap. All of them have been crap. Even the new ones.
I like the Fantastic Four as characters. They're good characters.
I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan, but I appreciate and respect their history in the Marvel universe.
Well, I think that's why they keep on trying to bring it back because I believe they're stuck in the golden age still. And I believe it's hard to bring them to the point where they're cool.
Yeah, I can understand that. And what's great is if they could redo them and do them correctly is that that's another movie that they have the multiverse already established for.
There are so many characters themselves that are cool or interesting that they've tried to put on film and it just bombed. And for example, The Shadow. All right. That's not Marvel, but The Shadow is, I mean, it started off as a radio series. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, he has like the telekinetic ability to make himself invisible to everybody in the room, and he kind of guilts and threats his way to make somebody confess.
Okay,
like kind of go crazy. In the movie, he's more guns blazing and stuff like that. But I mean, it didn't go well on film, and I hope that they would try again to bring back some of these older characters like the Shadow, the Phantom, the Rocketeer, all those characters. Because I mean, I believe they could do well. I mean,
well, they're bringing Blade back. I've also heard they're going to be remaking Blade again now, so we'll see.
And that could be great because I mean, Wesley Snipes was our Blade. I mean, a lot of us, it was our first introduction to Blade.
Yeah.
The only Blade I knew of was the one that was on the Spider-Man cartoon on one episode.
Yeah, I didn't even know Blade was in the MCU when I saw those movies. I didn't even know he was part of the Marvel universe until, you see the thing, and then I realized, at the movie, the Marvel symbols there. I'm like, I didn't even know he was a Marvel character.
Right.
I had no idea.
And I was hoping that they would have started the Dark Knight universe with Blade, and they might go that way. And that would be cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, Marvel has a lot of options, and with the multiverse, they can always just hit the reset or reboot button. But I think with actors and stuff, you can't just do that. I don't think you can just do that. It's not like the comics.
Well, so, I think honestly, I'm tired of the Avengers. I'm tired of most of the characters as the Avengers.
You think?
I believe that it's time to branch out from the Avengers and from what we know. And I believe that's what they could be doing with the whole mutant thing.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job with that. I mean, they're keeping Thor going. We're going to do Thor 4, Love and Thunder. We'll do that on our next episode with Robby. We'll be discussing that movie. But other than, Hemsworth, I mean, some of the other people, like the Guardians, they're from the first the first chapter, the first story, but they were late in the game. They weren't early. So I like the Guardians. And anyway, we're going to be losing some of the Guardians because Dave Bautista's not going to be doing any more Drax. So, you know, the Guardians could be getting a change up or a switch up or.
Well,
you know,
the Guardians has always been kind of like the Avengers too. The roster will change.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know much about the Guardians of the Galaxy when
Me neither. Again, me
came
neither.
out. I actually tell you the truth, I just remember seeing the raccoon, and that was about it.
Yeah, that's why I think they can't just recast some of these roles, because like we got introduced to some of these characters from the MCU, from them making the movies, and you're not just gonna be able to recast some of these characters and hit gold like you did with Chris Pratt, or with Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, or with Chris Hemsworth as Thor. You're not going to, if you just try and replace that, you're not necessarily going to capture that same magic.
I agree with you. Because I mean, I remember when Thor was about to come out, I was talking to my dad, and he's passed away now, and he's the one that got me to open my eyes with Thor. Because the Thor I always knew was the 1970s Thor with the winged helmet and brightly colored, and he spoke kind of old-fashioned, and really, I just never got into him.
Yeah.
And the first Thor movie, I fell in love with that character. And I mean, I know it's different than what it was in the comic books.
Yeah.
But they made Thor a name again. He wasn't just a forgotten hero. And most of the Avengers were the forgotten heroes. They couldn't do well enough with their own comic books, so they brought them together.
In my opinion, what helped the first Thor, and Chris Hemsworth does great as Thor. I don't know anybody else that you could cast that would be able to be the serious and comic relief the way that Chris Hemsworth can deliver. But what also helped Thor was Tom Hiddleston as Loki, because that's a home run. I'm sorry, I don't know if you agree with that, but in my opinion, Tom Hiddleston as Loki is just.
Well, the problem that I've seen in a lot of movies with villains, they want the villains to be so likable and fun. So, yeah, I mean, he did make a good movie version, I guess you would say, of Loki.
I thought he did. Even he was a villain. Like, I liked him as Loki. Like, I understand he's a villain, but I liked him.
Well, I know what I'm trying to say is I liked him when he was evil Loki.
Yeah.
I liked him when he was good Loki, but I would like him to be either or, not bipolar Loki.
Yeah, not bipolar Loki. Yeah, he has a little bipolar Loki right now.
The Loki that I've always known, I mean, you knew what side he was on.
Yeah.
And I mean, part of his trickster personality is, hey, I'm going to trick you and let you think I'm working with you, but I'm going to stab you in the back.
Yep.
Okay, but he's a little bit more evil in the comic books, and I like them to go that way.
Yeah. And except for the series, though, he was always serving himself. Except for the series, every time we saw him, he was always serving himself. The only time we didn't was when he fought Thanos and got murdered.
Right.
So
it's kind of his redemption.
Yeah, yeah. There was something else that I was going to say, and now I don't recall what it is. Oh, the Thor movie. Something else that helped. I think Tom Hiddleston as Loki helped, and I'm sorry, but you're not going to get better than Anthony Hopkins as Odin. Dude, I mean, you and I disagree about a lot, but there's no way.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you at all when it comes to acting chops, but the Odin that I wanted to see was this godlike character. I mean, like the muscles, all this shit, like you see in the comic books. That's the Loki that, I mean, not Loki, but that's the Odin that I liked. I liked the scar on his face. I liked
the thing is that, listen, you're talking, and I get that, like, when it comes to image and how people look, sometimes you do have to make adjustments, because I don't know who's better than Anthony Hopkins as Odin. Like, you want the big frame and the big arm. Yeah, fine.
That's my only complaint, though. That's my only complaint. I'm just talking about the physical. I can't say the word.
All right, so I get that part, but when it comes to actors and casting the roles of the superheroes, you can't always go by how they look. I think you got to go. Sometimes it has to be by, can they carry that role? And I don't think you can cast anybody.
I don't think he was truly Odin unless he did have the look. It's kind of like you can't have fucking Thor with fucking arms like mine and a gut. I mean, look how they did him when he did have a gut. I mean, it was
It was
stupid.
funny. It was funny. It was good. It was entertaining. But yeah, and I get that. But Anthony Hopkins, his commanding presence, it was, yeah. I think he knocked it out of the park. I don't think you get a better Odin. I don't think there's a better Odin out there. And please, Marvel, don't cast The Rock when you recast Odin.
I'm so tired of the freaking Rock.
Oh, I know. Leave him. I'm glad he's in DC where I don't have to see him.
Well, that's another story.
Yeah. I'm glad he's over there, although Dark Adam does look good, or Black Adam does look good, but let's not go there. I'm so tired of seeing The Rock also, and I don't want to see him in the MCU.
But I will tell you, his mother, I think his mother was a shining star in the movie.
Oh yeah, also Michelle, no, not Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm sorry. I
can't think of her name. She played on Lethal Weapon.
Renee Russo.
But, yeah.
Renee Russo. Yeah, Renee Russo.
The way the way she played the character, the love that she had for both Thor and Loki. I mean, to tell you the truth, to me, she was the glue for the movie.
And
in a lot of ways.
That's what I mean, though. Like, Marvel has great.
They did a damn good job in the early stages of their cinematic universe when they were choosing their characters.
Yeah, and I think that's why you got to be careful with replacing characters. Not every actor or
actress I agree with
in the cast is going to hit that home run. And Marvel has been very excellent with their casting choices. They've had many of their roles that are just spot on.
Well, what they did that was great with choosing who they did in their movies, for the most part, they didn't choose the A-list actors. All right, you've seen Chris Hemsworth in other movies, but I couldn't tell you what the hell he was in beforehand.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, I can't tell you another movie I liked him in except for Thor. Yeah, I tried to watch some of his movies, but I couldn't. Chris Pratt. I mean, he was in Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
you know, and the dude playing Chris, whatever his name is, he was in the Office. I mean, they weren't big.
Yeah, the guy who's playing Reed Richards,
Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, John Krasinski. Yeah, he played in the Office. But hey, have you ever seen 13 Hours: The Secrets of Benghazi?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a great actor. The Quiet Place.
Yeah,
I mean,
amazing in that movie.
I agree.
But yeah,
I was kind of iffy. I was kind of iffy with Black Widow at first when she first showed up in Iron Man movies.
Yeah,
but she showed what she could do.
That was another introduction. I didn't really know hardly anything or very little about the Black Widow before.
Well, I knew who she was supposed to be. I knew of Black Widow, but the only Black Widow I knew, because I didn't care to read her in comic books. I didn't read no Shield type shit. Yeah. So I saw her in Spider-Man. Yeah. That's all the Black Widow I know.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think they did a great job with her. I wish they would have stayed with her Russian accent a little bit more.
Scarlett Johansson, man. Yeah, man, she's amazing. And she's so, in that first movie, her first scene with, she's standing there with Robert Downey Jr., Michelle Pfeiffer. I can't remember his name. The guy who plays Happy Hogan. I mean, and she's just, you almost don't even see her in the first scene.
Right. And that was the whole point of it.
She's a quiet little secretary holding like some papers.
Right. And you would have never picked up on it. And I didn't until that she actually did her moves and shit. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And that's what Black Widow was supposed to be. Yeah. You weren't supposed to know. And I love that you didn't know.
Yeah, you're like, who the frack is this? Just like Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner. You recognize him from SWAT.
That's the only thing I knew him from at the time.
Yeah, you recognize
but when he was sitting up there and they're like, he's up in the nest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, that's Hawkeye. But to tell you the truth, they were still obscure characters that we saw in some of the Marvel cartoons when we were little. Like they had the Ultimate Avenger cartoon and stuff like that. But we really didn't know them because we didn't read those comics because they were not popular.
Nope.
When we were growing up, the most popular thing was X-Men when it came to Marvel and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So even Captain America was old-fashioned and nobody really watched them or read them.
And even Iron Man was a B-lister before Robert Downey Jr. got his...
Right. And that's what the Avengers basically is. They're the B-listers that couldn't hold their own. And they just bring them together.
And
Black
here,
Panther was the same way. And I mean, I like the Black Panther, the first movie. I haven't completed the second movie. The little bit that I watched, it's okay.
yeah, me
But
neither. But we'll discuss that in a future episode as well. The Black Panther movie, yes.
I think they did the Black Panther really well.
Oh yeah,
And
Chadwick Boseman was amazing. Yeah.
right, and I don't think you could have got a better Black Panther.
Nope.
Um,
See, that's what I'm saying though. Like they're doing a good job. These characters, and yes, actors, they want to move on or they pass away. And I think you have to move on. There's the comic book, dude. The heroes die all the time. There's always the next Captain America or the next Spider-Man or the next Black Panther. And that's what I like that they're doing. I like that they're trying to move on from the people who were. Oh, they're not acknowledging or forgetting about Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther. They're continuing the story. Now it's his sister that's going to be the Black Panther, which actually is in the comic books as well. You can replace some of these characters without getting off of the comic books and without saying, "Oh, it's just another version of them from a multiverse."
but I'm not gonna lie, with the technology the way it is, I believe soon they're not going to replace actors that's left. They're just going to use their likeness. I mean, there's video games that you have to look at twice to see if it's a real person or not.
Yeah,
They have it to where somebody could be 70 years old, but they can make him look like he's 20 years old on screen now.
Yeah, I mean, look at I can't remember his character name from Star Wars. I mean, that guy's been dead for many years. They took 70 years off of him. I mean, he's been dead for 30. You know what I mean? Like,
right. General Tarkin, I believe you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, they can do some amazing stuff. I hope not. I'd like to keep real people, but so yeah, we'll do Thor: Love and Thunder. We'll definitely be talking about Black Panther 2. And we'll continue following the Marvel universe as it unfolds. And as soon as Robby gets a little bit more free time, we're hopefully going to start a series covering one of the series on Disney for Marvel. But that will be likely probably maybe sometime this spring or maybe in the summertime by the time we do that.
Well, my whole schedule just changed. So now I'm supposed to be off on every weekend and holiday. So I should have more time to do things.
Oh, well, then maybe we'll be getting it done. Then maybe we'll be getting it done sooner then. So maybe it'll be coming up sooner. So make sure you look for that. And we'll continue to follow the MCU. Robby, he is the creator of the American Cross Design. That can be found on our sister show's storefront, bonfire.com/store/The Boiling Point Podcast. Visit our storefront. We don't have any apparel up yet for Mayhemtainment or Mayhem Media, but we will soon. JDEDESIGNz, bonfire.com/store/JDEDESIGNz, all in lowercase. That's with a Z at the end of it. Pick up some apparel. Some Mayhem Media apparel will be arriving soon. And check out facebook.com/JDEDESIGNz and look at some of my artwork, some of my posters.
And let us know. Let us know if the open conversations like me and John have, if you prefer that or you prefer us to stay more to subject. I prefer to have the more open subjects. We enjoy doing them, but we're making them for y'all. So let us know.
Yeah, please leave us a comment, and we're gonna try and maybe make one of these episodes live here in the next month or two. Also, we'll be doing some more live episodes, so hopefully we can make one of these lives. Live episodes are always better to get interaction with viewers than recorded episodes most of the time. But please leave us a comment. We always appreciate comments. We will discuss your comments or your questions on a future episode if you leave them. So please go ahead and do that. Where was I? Marcus Frederiksen is going to play us out, I think is where I was. Marcus Frederiksen is going to play us out. ReverbNation.com/Marcus Frederiksen. And check out Facebook.com/TheHumankind. Pick yourself up some apparel. Senior Marvel Cinematic Universe correspondent, Robby. I am your host, JD. And that's the end.